Okay, so we all basically think we know how scents work. Right.
Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, like you smell coffee brewing or a flower. That smell, it travels with the wind, carried on the breeze.
That's just physics, really. How particles move in the air.
Exactly. But what if I told you there was a scent, a really powerful one that could just ignore that?
Ignore it. How?
Like it could travel against the wind. Or maybe even in all directions at once. Doesn't matter which way the wind's blowing.
Ah, okay. Now that sounds intriguing. It sort of messes with the basic idea.
It does. And that strange idea is actually at the heart of our deep dive today.
Right. We're looking at an ancient text from Savatthi, the Ānandattherapañhavatthu.
Sounds important.
It is. It records this really quite profound question that Elder Ananda put to the teacher.
Elder Ananda, okay.
Yeah, and his question really challenges how we think about influence, maybe even reputation, and how it actually spreads.
So our mission today is basically to unpack Nanda's curiosity, figure out the teacher's surprising answer, because you know it's going to be interesting,
Oh, definitely.
and then explore what this ancient wisdom, this whole idea, might actually mean for you today. You know, find those practical takeaways, those aha moments.
Absolutely. Let's dig in.
So let's set the scene. We've got Elder Ananda, who was a really major figure, right? Close to the teacher.
Very close, highly respected.
And he's meditating one evening, just sitting quietly.
Mm-hmm. And his mind starts turning over this teaching he'd heard from the teacher about excellent sense.
Excellent sense, like really good smells.
Exactly. The teacher had talked about 3 specific kinds. There was the scent from roots, like ginger or turmeric.
Okay.
Then the scent from wood heart, like sandalwood.
Yeah, classic.
And finally, the scent from flowers, jasmine, lotus, that sort of thing.
Right, and the standard understanding, the way everyone thought about it.
Was that these scents, well, they only go with the wind, downwind. They can't travel upwind.
Just the nature of smells carried on the air.
Precisely. That was the accepted wisdom.
But Ananda, he starts thinking, wait a minute.
Yeah, he starts pondering, okay, but is there any kind of scent, any at all, that can travel against the wind?
Or maybe both ways.
Or even both ways. With the wind and against the wind. It shows that kind of deep, questioning mind he had.
He wasn't just accepting the surface level.
Not at all. And crucially, he didn't just sit there wondering. He decided, I need to ask the teacher about this.
Straight to the source, that's always the best way.
Absolutely. So Ananda goes to the teacher, pays his respects, the proper way, and then he asks his question very precisely. Venerable sir, he asks, are there any kinds of scents which go with the wind, against the wind, and both with and against the wind?
He laid it out perfectly, almost like a riddle.
It is a bit like that, and the teacher's response, immediate, yes, Ananda.
Just like that, yeah.
Just, yes, Ananda, there is such a scent, which, immediately tells you something unusual is going on here.
Right, because it can't be a normal physical scent then, if it defies the wind.
Exactly. We're moving into metaphor territory. So Ananda must have been thinking, okay, what is it then?
So what did the teacher say this scent was?
Well, the teacher explained it's not like perfume or incense. It's the scent, or maybe we should say the reputation or the influence, of a certain kind of person.
A person.
Yes, a man or a woman living in a village, living in a town, who really embodies certain qualities.
Okay, what kind of qualities are we talking about?
Well, first, they've gone for refuge, committed themselves to the path of Buddha, the Dharma, his teachings, and the Sangha, the community.
So a commitment to the ethical and spiritual framework.
Exactly. And flowing from that, they actively abstain from harmful actions. No killing, no stealing.
Okay, taking what's not given, yeah?
Right. No sexual misconduct, no lying, and importantly, no intoxicants that cloud the mind.
The basic precepts.
The core ethical conduct. It goes further. They're described as virtuous, silava, and possessing good qualities. Karilamo.
Good qualities, like what specifically?
The text mentions living with a mind free from the stain of avarice, of stinginess.
Generous, then.
Very much so. Open-handed, pure-handed, delighting in giving things up and letting go. They're approachable if someone needs something, and they genuinely enjoy giving and sharing.
Wow. Okay, so this scent is actually the byproduct of living a deeply ethical and generous life.
That's precisely it. It's the fragrance of good character.
But how does that travel against the wind? I mean, reputation spreads, sure, but the teacher's making a very specific point about directionality here.
He is, and he explains how. He says that the reputation of such a virtuous person, it's spoken of highly. By who? by monks, by Brahmins, by wise people.
Okay, respected figures.
Yes, and critically, he says they speak highly of this person in all directions, north, south, east, west. It doesn't matter.
Ah, so the scent travels in all directions because the talk, the reputation spreads everywhere.
Exactly. And he even adds that deities, heavenly beings, also recognize and praise this person's virtue.
So it transcends even the human realm.
That's the idea. This, the teacher says, this is the scent that goes with the wind, against the wind, and both ways simultaneously. It permeates everywhere because true virtue earns respect and renown universally.
That's actually quite beautiful. It reframes reputation not just as something people say, but as this pervasive force.
Right.
Did he elaborate more, maybe with a comparison?
He did. He drove the point home with two powerful verses. Kaka.
Okay, let's hear them.
The first one goes something like this. The scent of flowers doesn't travel against the wind, nor does sandalwood, tagara, or malika. Those are types of fragrant woods and flowers.
Right, the physical sense we talked about.
But, the verse continues, the scent of the virtuous does travel against the wind. A truly good person permeates all directions.
Wow, it directly contrasts them.
Directly. And to make it even clearer, there's a commentary that explains. Think of this amazing divine tree in one of the heavens, the Pāricchattaka tree.
Okay.
Its flowers have this incredible scent that travels like 100 yojanas, a huge distance with the wind.
Impressed.
But even that divine scent cannot go even half an inch against the wind. Yet the scent of virtue, the reputation of good people like the Buddhas or their great disciples, that can travel against the wind. It's more powerful in that sense.
That's a heck of a comparison. So virtue outdoes even divine fragrances in its reach. What about the second verse?
The second verse reinforces it. It says, compared to sandalwood, tegra, or even lotus or jasmine, the scent of virtue is unsurpassed among these kinds of scents.
Unsurpassed. So better than all of them.
Better isn't quite the word. It's beyond comparison. The commentary uses words like incomparable, unparalleled. It's not just the best scent, it's in a completely different league. Silagondo, the scent of virtue, is unique.
So putting it all together, the reason the scent of virtue can travel against the wind, travel everywhere, is because it's not a physical thing.
Exactly.
It's the pervasiveness of a person's good character, their ethical conduct, their generosity, that reputation, that influence. It just spreads. It's not bound by physical laws like wind direction.
You've got it. It's an influence that crosses boundaries, that reaches far and wide simply because of its inherent quality.
Which really makes you think, okay, this ancient story about sense is fascinating, but why should you, listening now, really care about this? What's the takeaway for life in the, 21st century?
Well, I think it's profoundly relevant. This whole deep dive, it shows us something really important about influence, about impact.
Which is?
That your real lasting impact.
Yeah.
It doesn't just come from, say, your job title or how much money you have, or even your achievements, really.
We often focus on those things.
We do. But this suggests that who you are, your character, how you treat people, your honesty, your generosity, that creates its own kind of fragrance.
A scent of character.
Exactly. And that scent spreads out in ways you might not even realize. It influences how people perceive you, sure, but it might also inspire others, open doors. It travels beyond your immediate physical presence.
So it's like ripples in a pond, but generated by your ethical conduct.
That's a great way to put it. And unlike, fame, which can be fleeting, or wealth that can be lost, this scent of virtue, the impact of genuine good character, it has this enduring quality. It can cut through noise. It can travel against the wind of negativity or cynicism.
It's more resilient somehow.
It seems to be.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the power of just being a good person. That resonates, it spreads in a way that superficial things just can't.
So wrapping this up, we started with this idea of scent traveling with the wind, the normal way. But this text completely flips that. The most powerful, most pervasive scent isn't something you buy in a bottle.
Not at all. It's the scent of virtue, that reputation, that influence that's built slowly, consistently through good character and ethical actions.
It travels everywhere, regardless of the wind.
Precisely.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps something for you to consider. And think about the impact you have. It's not just measured in things you can see or count. It's also defined by this invisible fragrance, the scent of your ethics, your compassion, your basic decency and generosity.
So the question becomes, what kind of scent are you cultivating in your own life?
Exactly. And how might its influence, maybe unseen, be reaching further than you think? Traveling against the wind, perhaps? It's definitely something worth mulling over.